Want to know the latest and hottest music hitting the airwaves? Don't be left out. Listen to the Golden State Media Concepts Music Podcast. Jordan and Keith keeps you on the loop with everything you need to know.
Jordan
and Keith.
From pop, rock, hip-hop, and the top 40. And we'll throw in news of your favorite artists, concert and tour dates, and so much more. Listen no further, because this is the gold standard in music podcast.
Looking for love in a hopeless place? Try the Golden State Media Concepts Music Podcast with Jordan,
Mariano,
and Keith.
and Keith.
No, you didn't say that.
Got a great.
Looking for love. I like that. I'm feeling it. All right. That might be the best one yet, bro. They've all been great, but I'm enjoying that one.
I appreciate
You get props
that.
on that.
That
Jordan.
means a lot to me. Yeah.
although you just did call us all hopeless, but who's counting?
I call it like I see it. So
Oh.
we've got a full show today.
Yes.
You guys want to announce what we're doing?
So we're going to be reviewing the Jay Dilla new CD called The Diary, his posthumous release, and
Prince's Hit and Run Phase 2.
yes,
Yes.
excellent. So
Two powerful albums. So.
Yes, definitely. So
All right. Well, I guess we can start off with Jay Dilla.
yeah, The Diary.
We can move on.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, Jay Dilla, great producer from Detroit, from the East Side. Before Eminem was the star of Detroit, Jay Dilla was. The difference is Eminem had Dr. Dre behind him, which gave him immediate notoriety, which was cool. Jay Dilla got discovered basically from a Tribe Called Quest. But I mean, there's even more to that story as well. Ann Fiddler's the one who introduced him to Q-Tip. But Dilla is great. His original group was Slum Village. He was their producer, and he's one of the MCs. Jay Dilla writes and produces his own music. He is now deceased. He's been dead for a few years now, died of lupus. This is the posthumous release that just came out. And it's his catalog and what he does is it's amazing. As I was telling the fellas earlier today, before the podcast, he's like your favorite rap producer's favorite rap producer. So Kanye gushes about how great his drums are. Pharrell has spoken highly of Dilla. So yeah, Dilla was cool.
So was this album completed that we were listening to right now?
Yeah. So what's cool about this record is just like Jay Dilla had all these ideas about who he wanted to work with, so he set the blueprint for it, and then he passed, but he was still able to get all these people to fill in and come in and do their thing. So, like when you listen to the track with the Snoop Dogg and Cocaine, it's like that's Dilla saying he knew he was going to work with Snoop or he wanted to, and it happened. So that was pretty cool when I heard it. So.
I like that one. That was a good track.
So he made the track, and then later on, after everything, the artist came in and they finished their part in it.
Right. But Dilla would do stuff like that anyway. Like Slum Village has their first two albums. So the first one's called Fantastic Volume 1. And the story goes is that he had the other rappers, Batin and T3, come into the studio and rap to like a click track and like a hi-hat. And he said, just put your raps in. He goes, just rhyme, and I'll put the music in later. And he did. He had them rhyme, and he went in later, and he literally put the music around them. And I never hear of producers in hip hop do that, because usually what they do, they make the beat and give it to you, and then you write your lyrics to it.
So to be clear, what you're saying is it's almost like a metronome sounding thing, so that they can rap on pace, and then he creates the beat to that same pace.
Yeah, for the whole album, he did
Gotcha.
that.
That's incredibly impressive.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
Yeah.
that was Dilla. So
That's
rest
interesting.
In peace. Yeah,
Yeah, rest in peace.
yeah, but yeah. So this album, I mean, yeah, of course, yeah, I like it. What I like about Jay Dilla is that he's a producer who also writes his own rhymes and does his own thing, whereas other producers have ghostwriters write their lyrics for them, which is fine. But I can admit Dilla's not the deepest lyricist.
and I think
but I still like his voice. I like his style, his swag, and what he does. He's just doing his thing. But yeah, I did enjoy the album. I did more so than I thought I was going to.
I think that I didn't know the legacy that you did about Jay Dilla, and I agree. I think what really kind of messed me up with this album were the lyrics. The production, it was a pretty good production. I enjoyed it, and there was even a few songs that I really enjoyed, like the Snoop Dogg song.
Yeah,
that was a fun one to listen to.
Gangsta Boogie featuring Snoop and Cocaine. So
The Truck was good.
Oh yeah, Trucks.
Yeah,
Trucks is great.
Truck felt like something I've already heard 1,000 times before.
You know why? Because it is Gary Newman here in my cars.
Oh yeah.
That's where he flipped that.
Okay.
And he called it Trucks, and I love it because he did that and he made it nice. But yeah, that's where that's from. He flipped Gary Newman's cars.
Yeah, there was some fun tracks to it, but I was kind of disappointed by the way you were talking it up to me, Keith, before we listened to it. I was kind of expecting something more. And while the production was fantastic, I think a big thing that we've had in these shows prior with our albums were something that I felt always were a very deep listen, and the lyrics kind of felt shallow to me.
That's why I said he wasn't that. He wrote his own rhymes, but he's the producer first. But
if I were to give a positive review, it'd have some mixed criticism with it. But I think overall, the lyrics really did get in the way for me. It's something that I would say that I can listen to with some friends in a car, but that's if we're talking while the music's playing. You know,
ouch.
And that sounds terrible when I say it, but
it does.
But I'm saying it's because we're not listening to what he's saying. It's a great background track.
I mean, what I say about Dilla is that it's about attitude with his lyrics, and either you're in that frame of mind or you're not.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'm feeling exactly what he's saying, and other times I'm not, but other times I am. Like the song "Drive Me Wild." But Mariano, what are you over there thinking about?
I'm just kind of going over the album in my head right now. It fell in the same category to me. The lyrics just weren't enough. Maybe it's just my kind of preference. I lean more toward lyricists, and
right. And he's not, like I said, he writes his own rhymes,
right?
But he's not, he's not Talib or most,
right? And in terms of the songs that he had produced for himself and other artists,
that I showed you later,
right? Right. That I was reminded of he is a great producer.
Yeah.
But if we're just talking in terms of this album in and of itself in a vacuum, I wasn't too impressed. I did like Trucks, and I did like that song with Snoop and Cocaine.
Gangsta Boogie.
Gangsta Boogie. But a lot of it just fell a little short to me.
And I think I'm closer to your opinion than to Keith's, but
that's fine.
I did.
Like I said, we can't always agree. But
I
definitely want people to know this.
And I love that we can't always agree. That's fun. We're not a hive mind here, but what really kind of blew me away is that you were naming all of these artists, these songs that he'd worked with, that he produced.
Yeah, Erykah Badu, The Pharcyde, Busta Rhymes, De La Soul,
a lot of them.
Quest. He was a part of a production group called the Ummah with Q-Tip. And I believe Ali Shaheed Muhammad. Yeah, but yeah. Mm-hmm.
It made me want to like this album more than I did because there was just I have a lot of respect for the things he's worked on in the past, and in a vacuum, it doesn't really compete with what you've told me that I've heard and things that I've listened to after knowing that fact.
Right. Well, when I get a chance, I want to turn you guys on to the early history of the Slum Village stuff. I want you guys to hear that because nothing sounded like that coming out of Detroit. Nothing sounds like that in hip hop. So, because he's got that jazzy feel, but he takes it a whole different way, like with his drums and with his bass. He's even off. Yeah. So the Office Space soundtrack, they have a song called "Get This Money."
Yeah, I know.
That's Dilla. That's him, Slum Village. So yeah,
and that was an amazing song. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So so my favorite tracks on here, the introduction. I like that.
Yeah, the introduction is one of my favorites as well.
Yeah.
The Shining Part 1, Shining Part 2, I didn't care for. The Shining Part 1, Diamonds featuring Kenny Ray. Of course, Trucks. Gangsta Boogie featuring Snoop Dogg and Cocaine. Mm-hmm. Drive Me Wild. I like that a lot too. And that to me, that's a take off of Vanity 6. That's an old school group that Prince had from the 80s.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Vanity. She passed away this year too. And they had a song called Drive Me Wild. And it reminds me of the male version of that. That's why I like it. And I like The Creep. The Creep cracks me up because The Creep is about your girlfriend cheating on you with him. So it's like the male version of TLC's
The Creep. The Creep was pretty good, actually.
Yeah, it's catchy.
There's some songs in there that I really enjoy. I love The Creep. But there's also some that you're saying that I did like, but I wouldn't go as far as to say that was something that I just want on my playlist.
Right.
Yeah. Like I said, it's something that worked great because his production, I think it's undeniable. I mean, from the stuff he's made before and here, he's great at what he does.
Yeah.
But
like
lyrics matter too much to me for some of these.
Well, and lyrics should matter, especially in hip hop.
Yeah.
They should totally matter.
Definitely.
That's why I said the first thing I said is that he's not going to be known for being a deep lyricist, but his delivery was great. And like I said, it's about the attitude when you listen to Dylan when he's rhyming. I mean, if you're in that mood, then you're all about it. And then the song redacted the police, expletive F the police.
I haven't heard that one.
Yeah. He has his version.
Expletive?
He has his version of it.
Yeah.
And I love it. And I love the jazz and the flute and the production. That was a single that he had released that wasn't on the album, and they finally put it on this record, and it fits in perfectly for me. But now, I mentioned to you guys earlier, so the versions of this album that you heard, the iTunes MP3 version has more tracks than an actual physical CD.
Right.
So like the track with Nas called The Sickness and the track called The Dough, that's on the MP3, that's not on the CD.
I liked The Sickness with Nas, but I'm a huge Nas fan.
I was going to say, but Nas, I mean.
Yeah, it's hard to dispute with that. Right. This is one thing, and I'm going to be very honest with it.
Sure.
We all listen to music so we can feel something.
Sure.
Sometimes we listen to it to pass the time of our, impending doom. But a lot of the times we're just trying to listen to it. So before we go on to a break, I do want to say this. The great thing about hip-hop is that it's one of the most expressive forms of music that there is.
Sure.
And a big part of that is its lyrics. The fact that the album didn't deliver for me because of the lyrics.
That's fine.
But it goes to show that the album was so good on its own with its production that I was still able to feel something. Despite not connecting with the words, the beat itself put me in a place that I wanted to be in. So,
and I think that everybody who likes hip-hop should know who Jay Dilla is. You don't have to love him, but I definitely think that he's definitely important and relevant to the culture, and you should know. But I guess it's time for a break.
We're gonna have to get to our break. When we come back, we're gonna talk about Prince for a bit.
Yes, we love this commercial. We love them.
Yeah, that's why we're taking so long to get to.
But we're hopeless, so we can't love them too much.
Yeah. Exactly. So we'll see you guys soon.
Okay.
Still on the search of that one true love? On the limbo in this crazy world of dating, marriage, relationships? Well, listen to the Golden State Media Concepts Relationship Podcast, your one-stop podcast for everything about relationships.
Hey everybody, welcome back. So,
I love that commercial. Was beautiful,
right? It made me want to donate to animals.
Listen to you.
Do you guys want to hug it out, or?
Yeah, let's go for it. So we were like over a minute late for that last commercial. So you guys know what that means. Double commercials all week long.
Goodness.
Get ready, guys. It's gonna be nothing but commercials from here on out.
So basically, in regards to Jay Dilla, 2-1 once again. I like it. You guys don't.
And I'm going to say, honestly, I wish normally I can go ahead and we're going to save most of this for wrap-up show, but it's for Jay Dilla. I want to say that, like, I like this or I don't like this, but this album was really way too complex for me just to give it a definite answer. And I couldn't tell you, yes, listen to it, or no, don't listen to it, but I can tell you exactly what I think about it. And there's way more than just a yes or no to it this time. But
he has piqued your curiosity now.
He definitely has. So you can say we have one yes, we have one no, and one weird existential crisis due to listening to the album.
Yeah, so. I didn't say too much. I have something for him, but I'm going to save that for the wrap up. Okay.
Okay.
Which will also be in the form of a commercial because once again. So next we're going to be doing Prince.
Yes, Hit and Run Phase 2. I was so excited when I found out we were doing that one, and I got Phase 1 from my good buddy Keith, and they were both very good. Phase 2, I like Phase 2.
Good. I like it too.
I liked it. When I was listening to it, my first impression was Prince never lost it. That was my first thought that came into my head.
You know what? That was similar to my first impression too. I just thought like, man, it's kind of oldie sounding, but I can see where newer, music lovers would be like, oh, I like this.
That was the thing about it. I'm sorry, Keith.
No, go ahead.
No, what I really loved about it is you have songs in that album that they kind of sound like something you could hear in a soundtrack to an 80s movie.
Really? You think it had an 80s sound?
No, I think some of them, they had a sound that, like you said, that
I think it had like a funky groove, like a funky bluesy kind
they
of
had
sound.
that funky groove sound that you feel like you could see in an 80s movie. Not only did it seem like something you can see 30 years ago, but it also felt not outdated whatsoever. You know what I mean? Like, he was able to kind of channel that Prince that we've come to know and love, while at the same time still kind of progressing.
I think Phase 1 was a bit more progressive. It was newer sounding.
Yeah.
I think it's a better record.
Right?
This one seemed truer to the roots, though.
Yeah, let me jump off with that as well. Phase 1 I liked better, but Phase 2 I did like. And one thing that like 3 songs that really stuck out to me were like the 3 slower songs, like the kind of baby making music songs. I liked those.
Baby making music.
Yeah.
Prince made that type of music, definitely.
Right, those were fun.
He created the genre, yeah.
He's one of the people who have.
Yeah, no, I shouldn't say that.
It's all good. Well, so what I liked about the film, but you're looking for the song. Yeah,
I was looking at the song. Sorry, Groovy Potential was fun, but I think When She Comes, Screwdriver, Black Muse.
Okay.
Those were good to me.
Okay. I can dig it.
Yeah.
So I like Baltimore, the first song.
Yes, I did like Baltimore as well.
So, and that's about what happened in Baltimore with Freddie Gray. And basically, a black man getting shot and killed who was unarmed, and Prince went to Baltimore and he performed free concerts in Baltimore, because there was lots of civil unrest when that happened, and he wrote that song about that. So I thought that was cool.
I like that line in Ain't No Justice, Ain't No Peace.
Yeah. So that was like his protest song, and it starts the album off. Nice rock and roll Prince track. Prince was 57 when he died. He died April 21st. This album was released worldwide on May 6th.
Yeah.
So the album came out electronically on Tidal. So Prince was alive when it was released that way digitally, but then the physical, after he passed.
Okay.
And what's trippy is that what I like about the album is like I can hear him experimenting with like contemporary jazz with this record.
That's what I got from it too.
Yeah, but I'm like, okay, the Prince that I know that I grew up on, was funk and he was rock, and what was cool about him is that he could intertwine soul, funk, pop, and rock seamlessly. And a lot of times you didn't know he was even doing that, and you were listening to his music, and it didn't hit me that he was doing that until after he died. So I'm like, Raspberry Beret is like a pop rock song, and that used to be on urban radio.
I totally agree with you. There was some transcendental, to just so much that he was doing. But what I really loved about this album was you called it baby making music. The way Prince makes the music that we make babies with is fantastic. I can't just listen to any slow song like that. He's able to deliver it in a way that I still want to come back and listen to it more and more, even when not baby making.
Well, I just think he's able to deliver it in a way that probably no one else can, at least right now.
Yeah.
No, I definitely not.
I agree.
As soon as
I'm up for someone taking that challenge, and
I'm up for some baby making. As soon as
oh my!
Don't worry, guys, we're gonna have to edit that out. We're taking it out.
I was gonna say. So with that, we're gonna take a very long break.
We're taking a long break.
No, when I heard those tracks, I thought
that was a classic.
I immediately
thing
need
you've
to
ever
add,
said.
Welcome to the family, bro. Welcome to the family.
Well, I thank you. I'm a sick pup, just like you guys know.
Yes.
Okay,
right on.
yeah.
Go
Now,
ahead.
when I heard those few tracks, I just thought that in terms of those, everybody has like that playlist,
Yes.
I was like, these are absolute essentials.
Awesome.
They're just
Cool.
classic. And then the fact that it's Prince just adds an extra little
You know,
to it.
This
I
one
think
is
so
to
too.
come, so.
Like with the Jay Dilla album, there's so many things that I've recently realized. Okay, he had his hands on that, and there's so many things that are classics that you can keep coming back to.
Yeah.
That album didn't feel really essential, though.
No.
This felt just as essential as so many other Prince albums.
It's Phase 1. Yeah, Phase 1. I liked Phase 1.
Definitely.
Of course, I'm gonna go in that same boat that I think Phase 1 was better. But it's I hate saying that because I don't want to discredit how great of an album this was. Like I don't expect something better than Phase 1, but that's only because of how great Phase 1 is.
So would you say
still expect a Prince album?
Right. So would you say that you could? Do you think anyone else could make what he just made with that record? or that type of sound. Because I don't think there's anybody else doing what he did with that record, with either one of those records.
I don't think anybody.
I think people make their best attempts to come close. I think people do their own. They end up making it their own. I would like to see somebody do it because this feels like necessary music. This feels like something that needs to be made.
I couldn't agree more, and I don't think anybody that's living anymore has that caliber kind of quality to make this kind of music. The only person that came to mind for me was Michael Jackson. And his songs don't sound the same. I know. And they don't sound the same.
Well, that's just funny because while they were both alive, they were, rivals of each other. Well, Prince is dead and he's still rivaling Michael Jackson.
But
even in his death.
But that just proves the validity of what I'm trying to say. They don't sound the same. They sound very different, but when you think I think that what we were talking about, the reason why they have so many different sounds all in one song, it can be poppy, it can be bluesy, jazzy, is the different levels. There was guitar, there were different instruments, there were even background singers, and all these different levels added up to one great song. The only other musician, or at least one of the few musicians that I've heard that puts that much time into really perfecting their music, was Michael Jackson. And that's kind of what came out of him too. Some of his songs had the same kind of, people, no matter what you like Michael Jackson. That's kind of what I got out of it. And no matter what you like, you have to like at least some of these songs on this album.
Well, I mean, I do.
I agree with that.
Groovy Potential, Black Muse. There's a song called Stare on there.
Yeah.
I like that one a lot too because it's a throwback to. He does a throwback in the song to his song "Sexy Dancer" and "Kiss." If you pay attention, and I like that. So
I did hear him talk about that. Yeah.
So he's referencing that in that track. So I like that track a lot because I like to hear him reference his past the way he did in that one song while making something for the future. But yeah, it's a good album. It's worth having if you're a Prince fan. I mean, there's other things of his I would definitely recommend. I recommend this though if you're a fan. What I was going to say too is that because he was 57. And like for a lot of us diehard fans, we're like, okay, well, his new stuff sounds so a lot different. I don't always like it, but I had to say to myself, okay, he was almost 60. Yeah, he should have been making jazzy type of music because his earlier stuff was already funky enough. He already did what he was supposed to do.
And he's evolving as a person.
Exactly.
Yeah, so, I mean, we're saying great things about both. When we come back, we're going to do our wrap-up with Prince and also Jay Dilla. So you guys stick around, stay tuned.
Right, it's always good to wrap it up.
Yeah. Speaking of Prince,
oh my.
We'll be back, guys.
This is true. All right, in a minute.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Keith, wake up. The show's back on.
Whatever.
All right, guys. Welcome back.
Quit fidgeting over there.
I'm trying my best. I'm really trying.
Stop picking your nose.
I'm ruining the show.
Stop it.
But my boogers taste good.
Oh.
Gross. So.
Yes.
Now we've talked about Jay Dilla. We've talked about Prince. Now we're going to do our very famous, always a great time, wrap up. So.
Yes. Wrap up.
I guess that was done, yeah. So I guess we'll see you guys next week.
What do we say now? So I'm glad you guys like the Prince Hit and Run Phase 2 album. Yeah, Hit and Run Phase 1 is better, but that's why I wanted you guys to hear it, both of them together, so you can have something
to compare them
to go to.
Yeah, that was a good idea.
But it's definitely a good album worth having. It's a mature Prince doing his thing. It's about love. It's about social injustice. It's about having a muse to help inspire you, create your art. I mean, it's a good record. So yeah.
It is. Buy it. It's worth it for sure.
Definitely.
So okay, let's say that we have just enough money to buy one album.
Phase 1.
Phase 1. No.
To do that.
Yeah, but no, it's really to see the winner out of the two albums that you thought today. Out of Jay Dilla's album and Phase 2.
Well, that's kind of obvious, bro.
It's going to be Phase 2, yeah.
Because you guys weren't feeling the Dilla like that.
Well, sometimes it's a tougher question than
that's
today.
Okay. Well, here, let me offer an alternative for anybody that may be listening.
Yes.
Buy Phase 2. Skip this Jay Dilla album. Look up his older stuff on YouTube. It'll be there.
Well,
yeah, and then work your way back into it. I think you could say that with either. Prince album, if you're going to start somewhere.
I like the Diary. I think people, if you're a Dilla fan, if you want to hear some good production and you want to have an album that has some good attitude, it is his Diary. So I like it. I recommend it. So, but it's all good. So 2-1. I'm the one.
Yeah. And I know I'm somewhere in the middle. Like I said before, I think Dilla's album is proof that lyrics aren't the only thing that make you feel something in a song.
Well, definitely, and like I said, so he's a rarity where he's a producer who writes his own rhymes. Dr. Dre has had Eminem write for him. He's had Snoop write lyrics for him. So, other producers have had people writing rhymes for them, which is fine. Ghost writers, Royce the 5'9". But yeah, Dilla always wrote his own rhymes.
Yeah,
so
Royce. I'm sorry, go ahead. Well, I just wanted to say my little piece about, because I didn't say too much earlier.
Right, yeah. What are you going to say?
It was, I think the important kind of separation here is he is a producer who writes his own rhymes, not a rapper who makes his own beats. So his lyrics, they weren't bad, they just, in my opinion, weren't great. But I don't want that to be too big a slam on Jay Dilla because his older stuff really is good. I'm not even going to say talent, he was gifted. He was something rare, something special.
Yeah.
Wu-Tang caliber, like hip-hop wouldn't be hip-hop if it weren't for Jay Dilla doing his thing back in the day.
Like I said, your favorite rap producer is rap producer.
Exactly.
So that's who he is. So, yeah.
So the pedigree is there.
So, yeah. And you get a chance, there's just a little segue real quick. There's a documentary called Our Vinyl Weighs a Ton, and it's about the Stones Throw record label out of California. Southern Cal.
Now, what's that documentary called?
Say that title slower, please.
Our Vinyl Weighs a Ton.
Our Vinyl Weighs a Ton.
There's a period about Jay Dilla and a segment about him and when he met with Madlib, who was like the resident producer for Stones Throw Records, who's another great producer who makes his own rhymes. So they made a record together called J-Lib. It's kind of like two jazz greats making an album together. That's the equivalent of that record. And on that record, so it's Jay Dilla's beats and Madlib's beats. Jay Dilla's rapping over Madlib's beats and Madlib's rapping over Jay Dilla's beats. So
yeah. Okay.
See, I'll check that out.
But we'll get into some more history and stuff. So we'll talk about that and stuff. But yeah, I'm just glad that we reviewed the album and people know that it came out. And if you don't like this album, check into his catalog because there's definitely stuff that you will like. But
definitely.
I like what you said too because he's a producer first,
right?
Lyricist second. Which
exactly.
Makes a difference too. So thank you for that. Yeah.
Yeah. No, liking this, not liking this album doesn't necessarily mean you don't like Jay Dilla.
It's
so
all
exactly.
good. Yeah.
That's definitely something.
But
I like it. But I'm from Detroit too, though. So hey.
Oh, are you really?
Yeah.
Gotta stay true.
But
I'm a little biased.
I'm a little sentimental. I'm not from Detroit. I'm Cali born and bred. But buy the album, support the legacy. Jay Dilla is important. I would buy it just because Jay Dilla is Jay Dilla.
Well, okay, there it is. And we also, and then the Prince, we already commented on that, so.
Yeah, if I can compare this Prince album to David Bowie's album.
Oh, okay.
That's something I kind of want to have a discussion with you guys with.
All right, we're listening.
So, I'd like to think now David Bowie's album and
Black
Prince's
Star.
album, Black Star, both they're kind of farewell albums.
Yeah. But when
David
Prince made his
Bowie's,
album, he didn't know he was going to be.
And I understand that
He's
completely.
got a vault of music that's going to be coming out.
I was going to say,
I'm excited. Yeah, and they're not necessarily. But their last album that they created before everything.
Right. Uh-huh.
Needless to say, you already just did. David Bowie's was a farewell album,
Yeah.
and it did feel more somber. It felt more goodbye, but it didn't feel like something that represented David Bowie's. It felt essential only because it was a goodbye. But comparatively, when I listen to David Bowie, when I seek out David Bowie's music, the mood I'm in, the kind of feeling I crave, it doesn't come from something like Black Star. Whereas Prince, it kind of till the end, that was an album that was just as accessible as, say, Purple Rain or anything else that you've got.
But I don't think so, though.
You don't think so?
No, I think it's a good, mature Prince record, but it's not. I don't think it's a strong record like his previous works. No,
I don't think it's as strong, but I think it is still very strong.
Well, like I said, it's a good record. So I'm looking forward to hearing The Vault and from us because it's gonna have a lot of his older stuff that we haven't heard.
Me too. That's what I was looking forward to.
So I'm really excited about that. I do think it's a good record. Like I said, it's a mature Prince, and he's venturing off and doing some other things, and I do like it. And there is a similarity because Bowie always liked to push the envelope too.
Yeah.
And I think Black Star is an essential part of his legacy.
Definitely.
Because he pushed the envelope. He really did.
And in no way am I bad-mouthing Black Star with that.
I know you're not. But no, but I think Hit and Run Phase 2 is a good album, but Prince has other great records that you should check out as well.
Definitely.
So,
well, if I can continue with this train of thought with his last album versus Bowie's last album. With Bowie's, it did feel like, and I already told you the story, I couldn't listen to David Bowie's last album for up until very recently because I was afraid of kind of saying goodbye to such an important influence in my life. And it kind of delivered that too. It kind of delivered a very hard goodbye to me when I was listening to it. Prince, although I was still very distraught about his death, this album I didn't feel upset while listening to it. It didn't really take me there. No. It doesn't. So I was wondering.
There was no goodbye. So yeah, when he made this record, yeah.
What did you guys think? How did you feel when you listened to this album? Did you feel like, all right, Prince is doing it again, or did you feel very upset by it, knowing that this was?
I didn't feel upset by it at all. It has a different vibe.
Yeah, I wasn't upset by it at all. You know, to bring up your point, it's different. It's not like his old work, and David Bowie's the same thing. You know, I try not to compare them too much to the older works only because I compare them in a different way. Because the older works, they were different people back then.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I respect that David Bowie is a new David Bowie, and this is a newer Prince. But when I compare to the musical quality. Did Prince still have it? The guitar was still very good. His singing was on point. The timing, everything was good. All the levels were there. He put lots of little details into songs that people just don't these days. And that's how I compare.
So you guys know that he got his record deal when he was 17 years old. He only went to Warner Brothers because they were the only record label that would let him produce his own first record. Because really? Prince has always produced, arranged, composed, and performed all of his music.
You see what I mean? That's that level of just musical.
He was playing 26 instruments at the age of 12.
Wow.
Yeah. Just to let you know. That's the guy we're talking about that died. I mean, Bowie was a genius too. They were both geniuses.
Right.
Yeah. So that's what's going on. So that's...
That's mind-blowing.
Yeah.
I guess before we close it up, you guys have any final thoughts on this? Or?
Yeah, rest in peace to both these guys.
Yeah, definitely. And they're both icons. They were both transcendent with their music. It's nice to have artists that people from all cultures all over the world know who they are. Because today, a lot of music gets so segregated, you don't have that.
Yeah.
And we need more of that.
I couldn't agree more.
So, but we do have to let you know what we're going to be doing. We got some more music reviews coming up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so stick around. You wanna?
Yeah, wanna.
Definitely. So
going on?
Next week we've got a few different albums coming up, and they're going to be very good. I'm excited about every one of these. And there's The Game. Now he's coming out with Streets of Compton, and that comes out.
It came out today.
Today.
Yeah, so we gotta pick that up. And we're gonna review that soon.
The Chili Peppers, which is one of my personal all-time favorites, came out today with The Getaway.
Yes.
Then we've got Mumford & Sons, Johannesburg. That's an EP, but I'm excited to listen to it nonetheless. And then Meghan Trainor's Thank You.
Yes.
So that's what we've got coming to you guys next week. We couldn't be more excited, so stay tuned because these are going to be great.
Exactly.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Once again, you're killing it, Mariano.
Thank you.
So.
I guess I'm not, huh?
No. You don't need me to validate you. We've talked about this. Okay.
I'm insecure, you know.
But Keith is quarterback. He runs the show, so it's,
Guys, I hate to worry, but I haven't been recording this entire time. No, that was a joke. All right, with that being said.
I was about to say,
I know. It's like, dude, that's Jordan now.
I would have stopped before any curse words came through the air.
Jordan with the click.
Okay, so... I guess that was our show. You guys want to do that last thing that we do before we really end it?
Definitely. But I'm going to let you guys do your last thing because that's you before me, okay?
Okay.
So you can find us iTunes, Google Play, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and GSMCpodcast.com.
Right on. So thanks again for tuning in. We appreciate you guys. We always have a good time and see you somewhere out in space.
Yo, guys, see you later. And hope you're having a good day, okay? All right.